Alright guys, so in this video, I'm hoping to kind of break down a bit of my journey making about 150k plus combined for myself and my clients on Upwork, as well as just to help you in understanding that this isn't luck. This is just a matter of persistence and wanting it bad enough. So my name is Matthew Johnson and I am a 21-year-old from Jamaica. I originally started my journey when I was 19, and I got introduced to Upwork around that time. And ever since then, I've been using it to generate qualified leads for my clients, as I don't really use it for myself anymore, but I still have my account and I'm still able to show you that what I'm saying is true. So I'm just going to get right into it from there. And just to prove to you guys, once again, it's not a matter of luck, it's more a matter of consistency. So just to get right into it, this is my profile. I don't really have any misgivings about, you going and checking out my profile. It's completely public. It's completely free to look at. So if you want to vet that what I'm saying is actually true, then you can just search me up. I haven't sent a proposal in a very long time, but I'm just going to show you what my profile looks like. So Upwork is, I've always found it to be one of those things that, at least in the beginning, I also thought it didn't work. Because as someone who comes from like a background of a third world country, all of these opportunities seem too good to be true at first glance, right? But I was actually introduced to this by a friend, and ever since then, I've pretty much been able to use the platform to generate leads, not only for myself but also for clients. Like I've had over 30 plus clients I've worked with, and I currently work with quite a few as well. So it's something that definitely works. So here's my profile. As you can see here, I have a 76% job score, but it was just recently 100%. But because I didn't close out a job that I had that was is still in progress, it recalculated the job score. So I had a bold claim earlier that I had over 150k in earnings, but that's combined. So with my clients' accounts plus mine. And on my account, the actual figure is around 50k, but I took clients off Upwork. Upwork, if you're watching this, I've raised so much awareness on this platform that you've probably made way more than 50k. Don't send me to Upwork jail. But yeah, in actuality, it's way more than this 30k. It's around 50k, I'd say plus. So as you can see, I've mentioned a lot of these strategies on my channel in the past, and it really doesn't get any simpler than what I've shown here. So I have my specialized profiles. I use the same bio for pretty much every single one of my clients and myself, and I've still had at $15 per hour, like ever since the beginning. So like there are so many things that people talk about on Upwork, why they can't get success and why the platform is just meant for a select few people. But as you can see here, like just to reiterate, I'm from Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. And I've been able to raise this much plus way more. And you can see it in my history here, right? So 6.6k, 2.5k, 11k, 200, 3.7k, 1400. And many of these clients went on to pay me much longer and off the platform. So like these figures don't lie, right? This is what goes through Upwork. And I used to have a video introduction here, but I removed it. As you can see, like just to prove to you that it isn't luck once again, like I'm gonna show you my proposals. So I wasn't even one of those guys that was able to get their first job in like 10 to 20 proposals sent, like just like that. Like, I wasn't one of those guys. I'm gonna show you the figure that's gonna pop up here in a bit. I'm on Jamaican Wi-Fi. Like forgive me. Um I still receive invitations to interview even though it's been like nearly 2 years since I sent my last proposal. But if you look at my archived here, you'll see as it loads. I've sent well over 4,000. Like the actual figure is probably closer to 6,000 on my proposals sent, right? So as you can see here, this is when it shows when the job closed, right? So you can see that this is how long it's been since I've sent a proposal for myself with the intention of landing a job. So I've sent over 4,500 proposals, and that's just what's recorded here, right? And then I've gotten over 91 invitations interview, meaning that those are the inbound leads that I've gotten. So again, it wasn't luck. And I'm not gonna paint a picture where I'm like this super successful guy that just got an airdrop from God himself, and was able to just do this seamlessly. And I'm one of those guys on the internet that is just trying to paint a picture, lifestyle marketing. Like I have none of that. I'm actually in my kitchen right now doing all of this. Like this I'm in my I still live with my parents. And I did this from the kitchen in my house. Like my house is really small. So there four of us live here, and the only space that we actually have that we can do work like this is just a desk in the kitchen. Like right behind me is the kitchen. And that's where I took all my sales calls. I still take my sales calls from there. Um and like even if it's just a matter of not having space, or it's just that typical story of, you're from the third world, so things are a bit more difficult, but it's not impossible. And that's the picture that I'm trying to paint. Because I know you have a lot of people, even in the US, right, that think that it's incredibly difficult to get started on something like Upwork and start actually making money. But I started out in social media management, and it was just as simple as me creating posts, right? And then eventually I learned how to edit videos. Then I started to offer that, and then I was able to add more value to employees, or not employees, but to clients. And then as a result, I was getting paid more because I was doing more for them. You see how that works? So I'm saying all of this to say that I'm confident that anybody could do this. I don't think that I'm like this out of the world genius talent that just so happened to, be some sort of prophecy that I was able to find some success on Upwork. I do think anybody could do it. You could probably follow exactly what I have here now, like just copy everything word for word, and still find some level of results. Like just doing exactly what I'm doing. So I wanted to make this video to say it's not a matter really of whether you're smart enough to do it, or whether you're like inclined, if you understand what I'm saying. Right? It's really like, if I was to tell you how I was able to do this, I would send 15 proposals per day. Like just nonstop. I just wouldn't stop. 15 proposals per day until I got a response, and then that response would lead to a meeting booked, and then it's just a matter of my sales process after that. But in the beginning, I kid you not, like I sent over 400 proposals before seeing any results, like before seeing any booked calls. I sent over 400 proposals, and you might think I'm lying, but after showing you that I've sent over 4,000 proposals, like 400 is just a drop in the bucket, right? It probably took even more than that, but I vaguely remember that number because I started doing this in 2022 at the height of the pandemic. And I remember just starting out and seeing absolutely no results. Like I saw nothing. It was so demoralizing that I remember just talking to my mother about it, and I'm like, yo, I'm trying this and I'm just not seeing any results. And she was just like, stick with it. Right. And it wasn't until closer to my birthday, which was in May, that I actually got a response because I was like, I'm gonna get my first client before I turn 19 at the time. Or I should say 20 at the time. And it was on, I believe it was either the 30th or the 31st that I actually got that first client and I signed him for $600. And I'm even going to show you who it is. See if I can find. It's not any of these. It's one of these projects though. I was paid like $600 um for quite a while. Yeah, this is it. This is it. This is actually funny. So this is actually, I got two reviews from the client. First one was 5 stars and the second one was 3.6 for some reason. But yeah, I worked with this client for a little over a year. I worked with them. This was my first client. See, July 2022. So it wasn't even actually May. it was much further than that down the line. And I was able to sign them as a client, and I worked with them for quite a while. And I achieved this as a Jamaican, right? I still live in Jamaica now. So it's not like I'm a Jamaican that lives in the US. Like, this is all from Jamaica. I remember going on to client calls, and because I couldn't show them the background, since behind me is the kitchen, I would have to use a virtual background of the beach, and then I'd use it as a joke to start the sales call, and then they'd ask me where I'm from, and then I'd say, "Oh, I'm from Jamaica." By the way, the background is real, and like they'd laugh at that, right? And I say, as just to reiterate, I say this to say that you don't need the things that you're waiting on, or thinking that you need everything to be perfect. You just don't have the luxury of doing that because you'll never be ready. I took courses. I've taken so many courses at this point. I've probably spent like over 20 or 30K on courses at this point. And none of them will prepare you for when it's actually time for you to do the thing. So you worry about service delivery in the beginning because I want to deliver a good product, right? So I really wanted to nail down service delivery. But when it came to actually delivering what it is that I said I would, that I promised the client, that's something I had to learn on the fly. Like, I had experience creating content in the past, but nothing like what the client was asking for. Everything was completely new. And no course could have prepared me for that. It'd have to be something super specific, like the exact client's niche. And it just wouldn't work otherwise. You actually have zero clue what you're going to do going into this. And with all of the jobs that you see here, these are all different niches. So these are all things, or these are all companies that I've never worked with in the past. Like, it's just a one of one thing. So every single thing, all of their processes were different from what I was accustomed to. None of them were the same. And I pretty much had to learn what I was doing midway through. And I had really good clients, so that's a plus. Um, but that didn't make it any easier because they were paying me good amounts of money, but you want to deliver something good. And the only way you're going to be able to do it is, or get better at it, is by actually doing it. So no course is going to prepare you for that. No matter how much you think it will, no matter how much they market it, like no course is going to prepare you for that. So the best advice that I could give, if you want to see like similar levels of results, or even much bigger, because this account isn't really that big, to be honest. I've spoken with people who have made over $1 million on Upwork. They have the expert vetted badge. They're like the top 0.1% or something on the platform. And it's very easy, you'd think, to the the hard part is actually just getting your first job. As soon as you get proof of concept, like this actually works, you'll get a second wind. And it's going to be much easier for you to actually put the work in and get your second client and then your third client, because it's a snowball effect, right? When you get your first client, you get momentum, and then that momentum will carry you to the second and the third. And the momentum typically comes in the form of a review. So as soon as you get a 5-star review, like, people start to trust you more because somebody else has trusted you. So they feel inclined to as well. So this number isn't even that big. 0 to about 5K was probably the hard part. But once I got to 5K, like, I was just clearing. Like 30K was nothing. Eventually. Like when you get 10K, it becomes very easy. It becomes much easier in my opinion, because you start to get more inbound leads, which are invitations to interview for the jobs. And at some point you don't even have to apply to jobs anymore. Whereas in the beginning, like, nobody trusts you because you have no results. So even for me, with these portfolio elements, which could be so much better, by the way, but I literally just, I had some experience working at a media company in the past, and I just took everything that I did there and put it here as my portfolio, and people were impressed by it. That's why I ended up working with them. So again, I say all of this to say that anybody could do it, but you have to actually start. This is You have to actually start doing it. You're never gonna be 100% ready to do it, and yeah, you'll never feel ready. You'll never feel like you're some expert or whatever, or guru. I hate that word, but you know. So if there's one thing that you want to take away from the video, it's just to take action on it. That's all I can say, because I don't have, like, I've been on Upwork for 2 years now, and I've sent well over 10,000 proposals combined, like just for myself and my clients combined, because I send proposals for them. And I don't have like this special information to give you. Like, I literally have just done it so many times that it's second nature now. I've sent so many proposals that it's just second nature. And no matter how much I invested in the beginning into stuff like buying connects, and it was all worth it, because I must have spent like 200 connects, $200 worth of connects a month. And if I sent those for 2 years, that's 24 months. I wouldn't even say 2 years. It's like 1 year that I sent completely on Upwork. And you multiply that by 200. I don't want to embarrass myself, so I'm actually gonna get my calculator out, and we're gonna do the math on that. So if I spent $200 every month for a year, which is 12 months, I'd have spent 2,400, right? So I spent 2,400 probably USD in total on connects, maybe less, and I made like over 50K. Just off, like, on and off Upwork for myself, I made over 50K. So that's a no-brainer ROI, right? No-brainer offer. So take action. I'm no different from most of you. If anything, I'm disadvantaged with where I'm from, and I did it. So you can definitely do it too. All right. Peace.